Imagine waking up every month with hundreds or even thousands of extra dollars in your bank account, zero financial stress, and the freedom to enjoy life on your own terms, all while still living comfortably. Most people believe that enjoying life requires spending more. We discovered the opposite is true. In this video, I'm revealing exactly how we practice being frugal every single day, the surprise benefits we gained, and the tangible rewards that have transformed our finances into a peace of mind. Stick around, because by the end, you'll have the practical steps that you can start using today. Some people have asked me why I'm so frugal, and some have even called me cheap, but let's get clear from the start. It's not about being cheap. It's about being intentional with every dollar in our household. It's about freedom. It's about a way of life. Once you have that way of life, you just don't miss that stuff. In fact, the wants for stuff that you don't need generally goes away, and that leads to a happier life. The thing that makes our journey so special is that we did it on a modest income, and yet we're stable, and the price of freedom is actually cheaper the more frugal that you are. When I say freedom, that's you get a little bit of freedom, financial freedom, by not having to spend all your money, and by releasing these desires, there's a freedom in that too, because you're not so bound up with things that you want that you either shouldn't have, or you can't afford, or you just don't need. Now, some of the things that we do to save money, and this is not an exhaustive list, but in warmer weather, we wash our car at home. It's a little bit of extra work, but we have a garden hose, we have a good vacuum. We buy stuff in bulk, especially meat when it goes on sale. We have a vacuum sealer. It saved us quite a bit of money. Delayed gratification. If we don't need it, we want it, we'll wait. And a lot of times, like Black Friday, things will go on sale. So when we see it on sale, we will wait. And if we still want it as well. Exercise. I do my exercise mainly at home. I do go to a Tai Chi class once a week, which is not so frugal. But the benefits are good, and the health benefits. We hike. Hiking is very inexpensive. We don't heat and cool the whole house. So in the summertime, we typically just have an air conditioner in the bedroom. And in the wintertime, of course, a little bit different. I shut the back room because nobody's in it. And I generally use a radiator heater, which does good most of the time. We garden. Now that's both giving us something to do, but it's also giving us good food. And since we don't use fertilizers, other than like cow manure or anything organic, we know it's good food. And we watch what we waste. Even in the garden, we don't like to waste the vegetables we grow. And we don't throw away food pretty much. Every once in a while, things will slip. We get busy. We eat leftovers. We also compost, which, of course, goes to helping the garden. Even our clothes. We buy them on sale. I have a bunch of clothes tags still on, but I just don't go out and wear them. And I have a cycle. I'll wear a shirt, and it'll be good for going out in, and then it becomes okay to go out in. And when it gets where I really don't want to wear it out, then I'll work. If I have to work on the car, if I work in the garden, then I'll use it as a work shirt. And then after that, it usually ends up being a rag so I can wash the car. Now, some of the benefits that we've experienced is, and I actually have a list, we have better perspective on our priorities. So when you buy only the things you need, you get a perspective on the things you need and the things you don't need. Also, it enables you to buy some of those things because you were frugal. And you get a healthy detachment from your wants. If you're just like want, which is human nature, you've got to kill that beast, man. Because that will just, if you're bored, find something to do. There's always something to do. There's always something to learn. There's always something to occupy your time. I'm also, speaking of time, I'm also frugal with my time. So I don't watch a whole lot of movies because there's a whole life out there waiting for me. Why should I watch something that actually is not real? And it's kind of a novelty for me. We'll also get a truer understanding of what enough is. Okay, I visited third world countries. My wife is from a third world country, and what we've seen, what people get by on, and they're generally happier than Americans, where it's just a rat race. It's never enough for most Americans. You spend all that time working, then you really don't have any security for it. You also create the buffer so you last longer if you have a money problem. You got a long way before you run out of money. And we also have free time, more free time because we're not out doing the things that cost money. Yes and no. I mean, if I go on a hike, I could be gone all day, but I'm not spending a whole lot of money. I'd actually make food and take it with me. Cooking at home is another thing that we do, and it's healthier. Being frugal with your money and your time, it gives you a chance to be more creative. Because if you're doom scrolling, or if you're watching a movie, or if you're doing this, your mind's already engaged, man. You're probably not learning anything, and all you're doing is killing time. And time and health are your number one resources that you have, the things that you cannot buy back. Your house could burn down, you could buy another house. It might not be pleasant. Your car might break and might total out, buy another car, but you can't buy your health, and you definitely cannot buy your time. We also, I'd like to say less clutter. We do kind of have less clutter, but the houses we bought came with a bunch of stuff in it. Some of it antiques and too good to throw away. We don't stress about bills. We reduce when we can, and we're very dollar aware. But when it comes to others, we do give, and we have a special fund for giving, and it grows. I assure you, it's not first come, first serve. So I do kind of have a list. I'm not too strict, but I am. It kind of goes by situation, but there is a process to the decisions we make. So one thing is, what is the cost versus the payoff? So how much did it cost? How many hours of work did it cost you? Or how many days or weeks or months of work? And when you're getting up there to, days, weeks, and months, that's quite a purchase. And you got to ask yourself, is it worth working those weeks for that item? And would you do it again? And does it add meaningful value to my life? So there are some things that you might want. For example, a new backpack. Yeah, it adds value. Sits on your hips, takes the weight off your shoulders. You use it. It adds value. It's worth every penny. And that's one thing I'm not cheap on, for sure, because I have to carry that weight around. And most importantly, do you really need it? What did we get for being frugal? Well, we bought a home cash. In 2016, we lived into it. We lived in it for, I don't know, 6 years or something. And we never increased our lifestyle, which was really, I would say, a huge break for us. And then after we lived in that home for several years, we bought a second one. We sold the first one for 300% profit. It was a modest home, but we did turn quite a profit, and we did live in it. No rent, no mortgage, and we paid cash for our second home as well. Granted, it's a modest, and both homes needed a lot of repair. I just did it myself. We bought a car for cash. It wasn't brand new. It was a service vehicle. Only had 3,000 miles on it, but the price was just a few $1,000s more with a car that had a lot more. And it came with warranty. Thank goodness. Because the motor was bad. 8 months, man. months before they replaced the motor. 8 months of driving new cars, all under warranty. So I got my car and 8 months worth of newer cars, and they would trade them in, everything. It was kind of cool. I also have a chance to pursue other means of income because we're in that season right now where I can spend the time on pursuing alternate forms of income other than a traditional job like YouTube. There's also more freedom if I can, work online, or I could work and save the money, of course, without investing. If you can check out the video about saving versus investing. In the end, being frugal hasn't limited us. In fact, it has expanded our freedoms, our time, and our definitely our peace of mind. And if you're considering to having a more intentional approach on your money, I encourage you to try even just one of these principles this week. Thank you for watching. If this has resonated with you, please like, comment, and subscribe, even share it. And I read every comment, so please comment below.